Good evening. It's my pleasure to be with you today on this platform with IIU to talk about anger mastery. Embrace a new therapy. We're going to talk about the acceptance and commitment therapy for anger management. With you, Dr. Nadine Haidar from Lebanon. You see this cup today, your cup will be filled with the definition of life treasure, overview about the acceptance and commitment therapy, anger case study, and we are going to gain self-trust. This is me. When I want to talk about myself, the first thing I present my name, and when I talk to myself about me, I have to describe myself in 5 words. And also, I have to dig deeper and describe how others describe me and what positive impact do I leave. Depression and anxiety are common. How do we manage these conditions? First, we have to focus. Life is a treasure, and we have to try to make the best of it. Life is a treasure, and we have to define the word treasure. What do we mean by treasure? A treasure is not something you own or possess. A treasure is something you have in your life. A treasure is something priceless and irreplaceable, like a family member, a best friend, and your proudest achievement. A treasure is something you love, like art, or like a mountain, or like any hobby you love. Now think, what is your own treasure? What's special about you? What makes your life happier and easier? Add a drawing that represents your treasure. Why is your treasure so special? Think of it. Why I consider this picture as my treasure? Why I drew this picture? How does your treasure enrich your life or help to make you who you are now? What core values or qualities does your treasure represent to you? What are simple things you can do to nurture your treasure now, right now? What do you have right now that can nurture your treasure? What are simple things you can do to nurture your treasure in the next few days? And here we focus on planning to make our life happier and to add things that make us happier. What are simple things you can do to nurture your treasure in the long run? It's like strategic planning and self-strategic planning. Now let's repeat together. I am special. I am caring. I am positive. I am responsible of my own feelings. And I am my treasure. Inside each one of us, there's a treasure, and there's a priceless treasure. We have to find it and to share it with others and with ourselves. Positivity makes everyone around us positive. And this is the point we have to tell everyone and tell ourselves. Now let's go deeper in the acceptance and commitment therapy, the ACT therapy. If you dig deeper in this therapy, you find it very easy and use it in everyday. ACT is a psychological intervention. It's based on modern psychology. It's based on mindfulness and acceptance processes, commitment and behavior change processes. They use it mainly in CBT also, to the creation of psychological flexibility. Now let's go and away from ACT and talk about the importance of language in our lives. Imagine that you are stuck in a room where all the doors and exits are locked. You only have one chance to get out. What would you do? Think of it. Imagining, planning, how can I go out? Evaluating options. Maybe I can use the stairs or the window. Maybe I'll call my friend or different options. Predicting consequences. What's the consequence if I'm at the 11th floor and I can't use the window? Choosing the best option of these options I have evaluated lately. Reflecting on the plan I used in mind. Solutions, possible solutions. Using the phone, kicking down the door, calling a friend, or breaking a window. Now consider risks for each of the solutions. Line doesn't have reception. The door is too strong. Your friend can't hear you. Or you are on the 4th or 11th floor, as I said. Relax. Remember that hasn't really happened. It's not actual. Using only your mind and the language has created options, evaluated them, compared them, chosen the best option, and reflected. Thought of all the possible risks. Our mind in a second or 30 seconds did all this. This process of language thinking is very crucial in everything we do in our lives, especially in such cases. Our verbal cognitive skills enable us to problem solve in the external world rapidly. However, language also has a dark side. Our abilities to compare, analyze, evaluate, think of the risks can also lead to psychological issues. For example, think of someone who compares themselves to their friends in terms of love, money, success, life. Such skills bring close a whole host of thoughts and feelings that are downward unwanted. And how do we deal with them? Avoidance. We avoid such feelings. And this is what psychologically makes us feel disturbed. Imagine that instead of being trapped inside a room, that you are instead trapped inside of your intense depression and your intense thoughts. What do you do to get out of it? Drugs? Don't think about it. Drink? Bed? What would you do? Your problem-solving abilities are just as strong in this context and would provide all sorts of escape options, just like they did when you were stuck in the room. The same problem-solving that are super helpful in the real world may not be helpful in the realm of psychological health. The same tools that work well in the external world may cause real harm when turned toward the internal world. ACT has based on the principle of experiential avoidance. We avoid by experience. The more you try to get away from or solve psychological issues, the less you solve and the worse things get. Put more simply, ACT is interested in promoting healthy behaviors, just as said like CBT. It understands that many of us listen to our problem-solving mode of mind when it comes to psychological issues. For example, we try to escape feeling down, angry, anxious, sad. However, the more we try to avoid these feelings, these ways, the more our lives generally come more constrict and more sad. The point of ACT is to learn to use our minds only when they are helpful for us and to catch our minds. Don't let our thoughts flow in the wrong direction. Each time it stops us from acting in the value in a consistent way. Now, look at this cup. It's called the happiness cup. Now we are going to talk about things that our cup with happiness and things that empty our cup. Imagine that every one of us has a cup. This cup needs to be filled with affection, love, security, and attention. Some seem to have a cup most of the time or known ways to get a refill. And this is the most important. But most of us get a little nervous when their cup gets near empty. How would you deal if you have an empty cup? What fills the cup? Of course, love, friends, relaxation, succeeding, family, being famous, doing what you love to do, what you choose to be, affection, health, positivity. Now, what empties this cup? Please be aware of things that make your cup empty. Hate, hate from others and from oneself. If you hate, hatred is a very bad feeling, it takes of power. Stress, anger, failure, loneliness, isolation, doing what you hate to do or what you are forced to do, negativity, sickness. The ACT model, the acceptance and commitment therapy model, has been created to help us achieve psychological flexibility. ACT is comprised of 6 core processes that are displayed in a diagram called the hexaflex. The essential components of ACT count with the present moment. Think about the present moment, the present challenge, the present problem, the present situation. Think of values, acceptance of the present situation, accept what you have, and think of diffusion and commit to action. Acceptance can be called acceptance, but is better described by the word willingness. Actively embracing all private events, both painful and joyful. The idea is to let people let go of their struggle. When it helps you to let go of your struggle by accepting that you are struggling and you are on the way to find a solution. This is what we have to tell our mind. This is directly opposite to experiential avoidance, where attempts are made at altering the unwanted thoughts. We avoid the unwanted thoughts. Diffusion. The core theoretical posture is that people need to rid themselves of negative, unwanted content to facilitate behavior change. And other third wave therapies are the exact opposite to this. The third wave therapies like C and one-on-one conscience. ACT suggests that people can live and behave in a value-consistent manner in the face of challenging thoughts. To help them do this diffusion aims to create distance between the person and his thoughts. When I get this distance, I have the space to think of the consequences and at the same time to solve this problem and find alternatives. Diffusion techniques aim to reduce the impact of thoughts by altering their believability. Diffusion examples include, I'm having the thought, word repetition exercise, I am having the thought of 1, 2, 3, and thanking your mind for helping you overcome this. Being present. Being is very important in case of depression, in case of anger, in case of any problem you are facing. Too many of us live our lives that reflect past or worrying about the future. We have to be present in the present situation, in the present challenge, in the present success, in everything present. When we do this, we lose contact with the present moment. When we think of the past or just focusing on the future all the time, we lose the contact with the present moment, and the present is important. And all that it offers to us. ACT promotes ongoing judgmental contact with psychological and environmental events as they occur. And in the present moment, people are flexible, responsive, and aware of the possibilities afforded by the context. In psychology, in common psychology, is called mindfulness. ACT and commitment therapy is related in a way or another mindfulness. When we sit and think, mindfulness is not only as breathing exercises and thinking exercises, it's thinking of what we have and how we can overcome and what options we have to overcome, and making a plan to do this. It's make our mind aware of all the present situation, ability to control our attention in a flexible manner. Self as a context. Let's take ourselves as a context here and talk about it. When asked many questions about our history or experience, the thing that will be consistent is not the content of the answer, but the perspective from which the answer occurs. If I want someone to know special thing about me, my mind directly goes to that side. For example, what is common about the answers to these questions? What did you eat? What do you want? And to whom did you talk? Self as a context, the point is to develop a sense of ourselves as observers. We observe our own selves, independent of the particular experience being at that moment. Defining valued directions. What are the things that are most important to you? What are the things you care? In many areas of life, we lose touch with the things that are important to us, such as things that make us happy, our talents, sports, taking a good health, good health habits, healthy eating habits, drinking water, talking to a friend, visiting a relative. These little things make us happier. Family, friends, career, the environment, religion, health. We don't have time. We don't have time. ACT aims to enable us value the things we have. Committed action. We have committed action, and we have to be aware of these things. ACT encourages development of larger and larger patterns of behavior linked to the person's value and set achievable. And then they will look at the possible barriers to achieving their goals. It's just like a SWOT analysis to oneself. What are the barriers to go achieve your goals and overcome your challenges? Final point, each of the processes in ACT are interconnected. The left-hand side of the hexaflex are the mindfulness and acceptance processes, while the right-hand side, commitment and behavior change processes. Now, think about a problem that you cannot manage. Trust your own powers. ACT tells us we have to trust our own powers. We did it one day and we will do it, and we can do it. We did things similar, and just look at yourself, how you can overcome and how strong the defense mechanism you own. Do small things irritate you? Now let's go to anger. Let's read ACT through anger. Why I do not trust myself? Why I do not trust that I can manage my temper? Why I do not trust myself? Fear of negative criticism, comparing with others, low self-recognition. Never give a chance to show your powers. Low self-recognition cycle, low self-esteem, I am than others, afraid to show mistakes, and hesitant. These feelings accumulate inside one's self and may burst suddenly into anger tantrums. The equation of trust, your powers, your actions, your results, and then the trust yourself package is ready for you. The results, powers, actions, and then we get the results, the desired results. Now, think of this problem and what's the source of this problem. Is it within myself? Is it related to someone, to a place, to an environment, to some crisis around me? You have to think. Believe that you will be better daily. Daily, you will inch yourself towards better. Stop underestimating yourself and your powers of controlling anger, of accepting everything around you, challenges you are facing, and the way you can get rid of these challenges. Think of your talents and superpowers. When you feel down, when you feel angry, when you feel uncontrolled, think of your good qualities and help others. By helping others, we can get this we need and we can get peace we need. Dress up and show up. When you feel bad, when you feel in an angry mood, when you feel in a depressed mood, just dress up because see yourself in a good outfit and feeling good, things will become better and our mind will accept more. Think before you do. Think. If you can't think and you get angry, if you talk or react without thinking, to train yourself by using anger management techniques like counting, like moving backwards. Just these inches, we move our bodies to the back or to the front or right or left can help a lot in anger management. Talk to yourself, and this is the most important, the way you would like to talk to someone you love. I love you. I'm happy. That's good. You did well today. You can do it. You do it. You are amazing. That was very nice. This report is extraordinary. You have the power to create your good news. You have the power to make things happen through planning, through anger management techniques, thinking of the current situation and evaluating things good and things worked and things that did. Now, after doing all this, I would like to congratulate you because you want to trust a word. Don't look at someone else and want to be them. Search within yourself and find out who you are and be someone positive. I would like to thank you for this evening, and I wish that I could change something in this world. I'm so happy to be with you. Mrs. Maha, I'm done with the presentation, and now I will stop sharing.